President Donald Trump has announced that the U.S. will recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, a decision Muslim leaders have warned will inflame the region. Trump's move plunges the United States into a decades-long dispute over a city considered holy by Jews, Muslims and Christians, and flies in the face of warnings from U.S. allies and enemies across the Middle East. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hailed the move as historic and said any peace deal with the Palestinians must concede that Jerusalem is Israel's capital. He also urged other countries to follow the US's move, which he called a courageous and just decision. Palestinian terrorist group Hamas warned the announcement opens the gates of hell on U.S. interests in the region. It also called on Arab and Islamic states to cut off economic and political ties with the U.S. Embassy and expel American ambassadors to cripple the move. The PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, said it destroys the two-state solution. Scroll down for video. In a frantic series of calls, the leaders of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, the European Union, France, Germany and Turkey all warned Trump against the move. Pictured, Trump making the speech today. More opprobrium, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who met King Abdullah of Jordan on Tuesday, had called the move on Jerusalem a red line. His spokesman on Wednesday said it was a grave mistake that will virtually eliminate the fragile Middle East peace process. Demonstrators shout slogans during a protest against the U.S. intention to move its embassy to Jerusalem and to recognize the city of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, near the U.S. consulate in Istanbul. Anger, a man in Istanbul screams in the street after Trump announced the U.S. would recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. French President Emmanuel Macron agreed with the UN in saying the status of Jerusalem must be determined during negotiations between Palestinians and Israelis. He also called for calm from all sides and said violence must be avoided. A Turkish government spokesman said the decision was irresponsible and illegal. Turkey said earlier the move will push the region and the world into a fire with no end in sight. Criticism poured in from Tehran and Ankara to war-ravaged Syria and Pope Francis, reflecting the anxiety surrounding the announcement, which upends decades of U.S. policy. In a frantic series of calls, the leaders of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, the European Union, France, Germany and Turkey all warned Trump against the move. In the speech at the White House tonight, Trump said his administration would begin a process of moving the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which is expected to take years. The status of Jerusalem, home to sites holy to the Muslim, Jewish and Christian religions, has been one of the thorniest issues in long-running Mideast peace efforts. I have determined that it is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, Trump said. While previous presidents have made this a major campaign promise, they failed to deliver. Today, I am delivering.